You know that feeling when you sit down to work and instead of actually doing anything, you just sit down and think about what you should be doing? Yeah, same. At this point, my to-do list is more like a guilt playlist. It plays in the background while I scroll Instagram pretending I'm doing research. I used to think I was bad at managing my time or easily distracted, but I've realized something. Overthinking isn't always about laziness. It's usually about lack of clarity. So in this video, I want to share a 3-step framework that's been helping me to get unstuck and actually finish stuff. Whether I'm working on product stuff at my job or I'm just trying to finish a video without spiraling into existential doubt. It's simple. First, categorize your tasks by intention. Second, shrink them down to one next action. And third, anchor them to moments in your day. This system has helped me to stop overthinking and actually start moving without the pressure of perfection. But here's something that really got me thinking. If I've made the task smaller, clearer, and easier, why does my brain still find ways to avoid it? Like, I will literally write open laptop on my to-do list and still ignore it. So this part of the video is less about hacks and more about understanding how resistance works. Let me walk you through each step and how I've been using them day to day. Step 1 is categorized by intention. This one changed everything for me. Instead of treating all tasks like they belong on the same list, I started asking, what kind of task is this? And what kind of energy does it need from me? That's when I started using 3 buckets: think, build, and share. Think is for early stage tasks like brainstorming, outlining, researching, and planning. Basically pre-production, if you want to call it that way. It's great for days or moments in which I am low energy or actually feeling reflective. Building, on the other hand, is for actual execution. Filming, shooting, designing, editing, writing, that kind of stuff. This takes focus and effort, so I actually tackle this when I have a solid time block. At work, I managed to create some time blocks during the week so that I can focus on these tasks in the morning when I feel the sharpest. For my creative projects, on the other hand, I usually work on them during the weekends when I have more energy and I'm not tired from working all day. And share is for getting things out there. For example, uploading, scheduling, presenting, emailing, and posting. So let me give you some real examples. For think, it would be working on my content calendar, for example, or at work, it would be outlining a feature or researching trends. For build, I would do things like writing the script, filming the video, or at work, I would be, for example, designing a deck or writing some product requirement document. And for share, you have things like uploading a final video, scheduling an email, or posting stuff on social media. What has helped here is checking in with myself and asking, what do I actually have energy to do right now? If I just finished a long, tiring meeting, I'm definitely not driving into build mode. I might do a think task, for example. This helps me stop fighting my own rhythms and actually get things done with my energy instead of against it. Step 2 is reduce to one next action. This one right here is the antidote to vague, paralyzing to-dos. I used to write things down like work on content or edit video or prep updates. So basically, tasks that are written in a very general way, and then I was wondering why I've never started. It is basically like telling someone, go be successful. Okay, but where? How? Why? So now I make every task answer this question. What is the next physical thing I need to do? So instead of describing the full task vaguely, I'll describe the very beginning. For a task that would be something like edit video, this will turn into cut intro to under 30 seconds. Something like write blog post will become open Notion and write the opening sentence. And something like planning content will become add 3 idea to next week's content calendar. So one tiny action, not the whole project, not even the whole task, just the next move. That is the key. It sounds ridiculous, yes, but that's actually the point. You remove the mental friction and suddenly you're in motion. And motion leads to momentum. I talked about this in one of my previous videos related to printing the photos you take. You can watch it here if you want to know more about getting started with this. Step 3 is use time anchors. You know how productivity advice says block time on your calendar? Yeah, I've tried that a lot and failed a lot as well. Turns out I am kind of a calendar rebel. I see a time block that says write script at 2 p.m. and my brain will be like, nah, I won't do that. So instead, I started anchoring tasks to things I already do every day. No fancy system, just rhythms I'm already used to. For example, during my morning coffee, I will review my backlog, I'll jot down ideas for content on the weekends. After dinner, I would edit pictures from my last shoot or clean up a task list. And on the days that I go to the office in the evening, I will schedule social posts or reply to comments. Things that are basically less energy consuming because I know that I will be more tired. So as I said, these are time anchors and they're flexible but actually very consistent. Think of it like habit stacking, but actually for work. You're not reinventing your schedule, you're just piggybacking on it. That's way easier to maintain without going crazy. And when life gets messy and I miss a task, I don't beat myself up. I just jump back in the next day. This isn't about being perfect, it's about building a flow that's realistic. So now you're probably thinking, what do I do when I still procrastinate, even with all this clarity and structure? That's a great question because, yeah, it still happens. And here's what I've learned. When I feel stuck, I shrink the tasks even more, so I double down on it. So record a video will become set up a tripod. Something like write carousel captions will become write just one sentence. And that's it, one tiny move, like embarrassingly small. But it works because once you start moving, even a little bit, your brain shifts from I don't want to okay, I guess we're doing this. And from there, it's actually easier to keep going. So here's what I've realized. Overthinking is usually a clarity problem, resistance is a friction problem, and procrastination is a momentum problem. And one possible solution to all three is make it easier to begin. The system isn't about being productive all the time also, so don't get me wrong. It's about lowering the resistance just enough to start. Because once you start, finishing actually becomes possible. If you want to try this out yourself, I made a free worksheet that walks you through all of these steps. So the same system and the same prompts. You can download it from my website, just hit the link in the description. If you're trying to balance work, creative projects, and most importantly, your sanity, I'm right here with you. I'm also trying to do that myself. I share content on building creative momentum without burning out, like with this video right here where I share about how to manage your time and your creative projects. If that sounds like your thing, subscribe or drop a comment. Let's keep figuring this out one small, clear step at a time. Cheers.